story time on why I quit my job and why I don't think I'm ever going to work for another establishment again. So I work from home. I'm not going to say the company, but I work from home. And I asked my supervisor, hey, what do you guys offer for bereavement? She says, we give 7 days of bereavement, etc., etc. I explained to her the situation that I'm traveling from Connecticut to Florida and, whatever. So I told her, like, all right, let me just use the 5 days first because I don't want to use the whole 7 and then later I might need, more bereavement. So I said, let me use the 5 days and then I have my 2 days off. That should, that should be doable. But, when you're planning funerals and you have family matters and legal matters and grieving and everything on top of that, you just never know, right? So close to the end of the trip, I'm telling her, like, hey, like, is it possible that we could just use my vacation time for like an extra couple days? She says, oh, there's no allowance for Friday and Saturday. Basically, this job, you have to have hours on the calendar where employees can take off. They're using my vacation time. I need allowance for certain days to take it off. So she's like, there's no allowance. I said, okay, well, can I just use the extra 2 days bereavement? Her response basically was like, why? Why do I need to re-explain to you again bereavement and what I need the extra 2 days for? And then it's like, okay, bereavement, the company gives us their time. I asked to use my time. You're not giving me no options here. You're not telling me like, okay, look, this is what you can do. You're just telling me no. And it's like, as a supervisor, if you see that I'm asking for more days and if there's any options here, you should tell me like, hey, this is your options. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. You're not even trying to help or say nothing. You're just straight telling me no. And my thing is, why can't I use the extra 2 days bereavement if you guys give me 7 to begin with? So because I didn't say 7 up front, I can't get it. Y'all, I'm not going back to that job. I'm not about to sit here and let you guys treat me like a robot. Y'all jobs need call center employees. Y'all need us. I don't need you. There's a million jobs out here. You walk down the street, every job is most likely hiring. I'm about to sit here and kill myself for y'all ungrateful ass companies. Like, these companies really do not give a damn about you. And I've worked since I was 16 years old and I'm 27 now. And I'm learning now that I'm not about to let a job kill me, bro. Like, yes, this economy, you need a job. Yes, sometimes you got to deal with shit that you don't want to deal with. But at the end of the day, if a family passes away or if you have bereavement or whatever, if you need to take time off, why are you telling me no? That's my whole thing about it. Like, if I'm trying to use my earned vacation time and you're telling me no, why do you get to control when I can take a breather, when I can grieve, when I can do anything? And also with this job, I'm on a 120-day attendance probation, but I'm on 90 days probation. So I passed 90 days probation, but I'm still on probation for my attendance. And basically I got told, like, if you miss another day or else, pretty much. The 2 days I missed during my first 90 days, it was for like doctor's appointments or something like that. If I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, when am I going to have time to take care of my body, my health? Like, I'm telling you, y'all do not kill yourselves for these jobs out here. They do not care about you, bro. So from the time being, I am unemployed somewhat. But if you know me, I always figure it out. I always got a way. And as long as I got a car, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get up, go do Lyft, go do DoorDash, go do whatever I can do to make money. This is not stopping nothing. Mwah. That job.
This is a perfect example of some of the things that she said on point. Some of the stuff I'm like, I don't know. But I want to hear your thoughts. Please get in the comment section. Let me know your take on what you just heard her say and what was shared. Remember, keep it respectful. We are thrivers over here. Keep it positive in the comments. Give advice, positive things that can help. Let's not get disrespectful towards her or crash out or anything like that. Now, here's my take. I feel like you have to recognize that when you work for other people, you need to know what the company policies are. You need to know especially how flexible that company is. And let's be real, some of the things you got to ask. If there's 7 days that they're going to give you for bereavement and you don't know if you're going to need all 7, before you say lock me in for the 5, you need to know up front, hey, if I say 5, can I come back and get the extra 2, as opposed to just making that assumption, right? So I think that's one of the issues, is that sometimes we don't ask enough questions or clarify what the position is, because it sounds like the 5 was locked in and she's like, oh my God, why aren't they willing to work with me? And don't get me wrong, bereavement, you would think some people have compassion, but at the end of the day, some people don't, especially in the case of you working an at-home job. They probably don't know you other than the experiences and the interactions that they have with you, either over the phone or over Zoom. So there's not really much incentive for them to say, oh, we're going to just do what you want us to do. And then let's just be honest, like the attitude that she has about F this job and all of that, is it worth risking or saying you don't want the job no more just because this instance didn't go your way, I, hey, everybody can do what they want to do. Like if you feel comfortable enough to do it, cool. Now, one thing that she did say that I think is good is that she does have a positive mindset. Unlike a lot of people that we hear and we watch on these videos that are just woe is me and they'll not be able to find a job or they're going to be struggling and it's going to be so hard. I love the fact that she got the attitude of, hey, I can quit this job and I'll find another one. I'm a hustle. I got a whip. I do what I need to go do until I find another position. I like the fact that she has a positive mindset because it's people like that that typically do not have a hard time finding jobs. The type of energy and the type of attitude you have is what you will often attract to yourself. So if she's putting out in the atmosphere like, yo, I don't need this job, I could go find another job easy. In many cases, she probably will be because of that attitude and because of the willingness to say, hey, I'm gonna get out there and go do what I gotta do to get it. Now, I will say this, y'all. There's a thin line between a person having boundaries and making sure that your employer or the job that you work for respects those boundaries. I think everybody should have those in place where it's like, okay, if you cross this line, then I'm out of here. I'm gonna chuck the deuce, I'm quitting, I'm gone, or you're gonna have to fire me, whatever the case may be. But then I also think on the other side of that thin line is being irresponsible and just not acknowledging the fact that there are some things that you as an employee are responsible to do. Now, I will say this, right? There are some boundaries that I can totally relate to her wanting to stand firm on those and say, these are my boundaries. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But then there's also a little bit of irresponsibility that I'm kind of hearing creeping in some of these regards, in regards to her expectations of her employer versus a lack of accountability and responsibility on her part to say, hey, you know what? I have a responsibility here too. And that's real life, right? Sometimes we want things more our way than we are willing to say, hey, I'm willing to concede and provide my employer what they need because this is a mutual beneficial relationship. But this is so interesting because y'all saw when she flashed to the whip, she driving a Benz, right? She driving a Benz, and it's just like, man, I'm reminded of, and I don't know her situation, but let's be real. It's a lot of people riding around in luxury vehicles and they not in great financial positions. And that is something that we have to fix as individuals who want to thrive and be successful in life. Is let's not fall into that trap of spending money on expensive luxury items when we do not have a strong financial foundation, right? Before you go get the Benz, before you go get the Louis Vuitton purses and the designers and all of that stuff, make sure you're set. Make sure you are in a position where you can tell a job if they're not working or respecting your boundaries that you can chuck them the deuce and you're fine. So I just wanted to point those things out. Those are my takes. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. If you like to share it, feel free to do so in the comments. And again, keep it respectful. Until next time, I'm Jay. I'll catch you in the next episode of the Daily Alarm. Stay blessed.